Hello, and welcome to the next session in this course. In this session, we're going to focus on the topic of Google Analytics and mastering the essentials of Google Analytics. Let's get started. Again, before coming to class, you should have set up your Gmail. And what you can do, you don't have to set up your own Google Analytics account. You can, but for this course, or for this session, I want you to go to this link here, supportgoogle.com analytics. Just click on that link there, and then click on the demo account, and then you can log into the demo account. And we're going to be using that for all the module assignments inside this session. All right? Okay. So before we get started, I want to first explain the high-level concept of what is Google Analytics and why it's such an important tool for digital marketers. So why use GA? GA is the short name, Google Analytics. Google Analytics is used by millions of websites every single year to measure the traffic to and from their websites. Most people who use GA, they do so because it's a very powerful tool. It's free, that's the main thing. And Google's tremendous cloud infrastructure allows them to rip through very large data sets rather quickly. It also has a nice, clean user interface. Okay, they want to use data to make informed decisions, and this helps them. The last point is that it's, and don't be naive on this one, but data on its own is meaningless. But when used properly, data can help you see what's working well, what's not working, and make decisions on what to do next. And that's really the key around digital marketing, is looking at the data, making decisions, and figuring out what to do next. All right, so that's why people are using Google Analytics. To start using Google Analytics, you just need to install the Google Analytics tag. It's very simple. It can be done by your HTML developer. And to see how to do it, I have a link down here. Just click on that link and it'll show you how to do it. But it's done inside the Google Analytics account in the admin section. Okay, so let's get started with the first module concept. In this module, I'm going to present the first of the four core modules inside of Google Analytics, and this one is known as the audience module. And let's take a look. So the audience module is where you see the high-level performance of your website. It allows us to understand who is coming and how often they come. So the users, and that's the total number of unique users who come to your site on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. Google counts each unique browser that visits your site as one user. The next is sessions. This is the total number of visits to the website. So if a user comes 2 times, then that's 2 sessions. If your user count is 1,000 and your sessions count is 2,000, then that means each person came an average of 2 times. So that's the difference between users and sessions. The next metric is then page views per visit. This is the average number of pages that each person visits. So if your page has 5, let's say your page has 5 pages, your website has 5 pages, and the average person came and visited 2.39 pages, that means each user is visiting about 60% of all your pages, which is quite good. The next then is session duration. This measures how long the customers will stay inside your website. So for example, here you have 1 minute 32 seconds. So the longer the better, right? And the reason is, if people stay for a long time inside your site, that means you're producing content that's of interest to them. And the last one is bounce rate. This is defined as the percentage of users who come to your site and then they leave before clicking to another page, right, or doing anything on the site. So if you have a high bounce rate, then you're either sending the wrong people to your site, or there's just very little interest in the content in your site. Right? So these are the main metrics of audience overview. Now I'm going to take you through each of these inside of the demo account. Let's go take a look. All right, so let's get started with the live demo and what we're going to show you around Google Analytics. The first thing I need you to do is come to this link that I shared with you in the PowerPoint to access the demo account. So once you come here, just scroll down, it'll say Access Demo Account, and you click there. This will then load the Google Analytics demo account. It's a fake account, and this is what you're going to be able to use to answer all of the questions. So the first module I'm going to show you is the audience. So let me just collapse this. So you see here when you first log in over here, this is what we're teaching in the class today. Audience, acquisition, behavior, and conversions, goals. So I'm first going to show you audience. So click on this and come to Audience Overview. Now, in Audience Overview, here we are. And what I want you to do is you can select different time ranges here. I asked you in your exercise to select June, so I'm just going to select May, so I don't show you all the answers. But here it is, okay? So this is where, again, you can see the total users, 50,922, sessions, users per session, pages, etc. These are the things that I just taught you. A few other things that I want to share with you. Number one, geography. So let's look at geography. So again, this is where you can find out all information about the audience coming to your website. So you click on geography, location. This is where you can see the quantity of the traffic that's coming through to the website. Obviously, you see here US is number 1, Italy number 10. It's one cool feature. Another thing then is around the devices. So come to mobile and then do overview. This will show you a mix of where's the traffic coming from: desktop, mobile, tablet. You can see in this example, desktop makes up around 69%, almost 70% of all the users, where mobile is 28%, tablet around 30% if you combine mobile and tablet. What you'll find in Thailand is it's actually the reverse. It's around 70% is mobile, 30% desktop. This is a demo from the US market, obviously. Let me see a few other cool things here. You can also get the demographics. So again, overview. Now the demographics in Google Analytics, it's really just an estimate. It's not as accurate as Facebook would be, but you can see the demographic makeup here. And then what's really cool is on the behavior, you can also see new versus returning, the frequency and recency. All right. And actually I like frequency and recency because this shows you, 47,000 sessions of the 66,000 just came once. So it allows you to see a more loyal audience. Your loyal audience are the ones that are coming 9, 10 times over. And again, this is in a 1 month period. All right. So that's an introduction to the main things around audience. Thanks so much. And this brings us to the end of this first module. Now it's time for you to do this short activity. So again, go inside the demo account. And what I want you to do is look at the month of June 2020. And I want you to answer these questions, these 4 main questions here. And this will just make sure that you know how to navigate and use the analytics platform. Complete the module, upload it back into Blackboard, and we'll review it during this week's Q&A. Best of luck. All right, welcome back. Now we're going to review the next module concept. In this module, we're going to present what is known as the acquisition overview. Let's get started. The acquisition section of Google Analytics is all about helping companies track the source of traffic to their website. You can also see the performance of each traffic source. This will help brands and companies track their campaigns and know where their investments are producing the best sources of traffic. Let's look in more detail. So to get to the acquisition section and see the source of traffic, you need to click on Acquisition, All Traffic, and Channels. Once you're there, then you can see the high-level channels that are sending traffic to your site. Let's review the most popular traffic terms so you can understand what they mean. Let's go one by one. Okay, so the first is paid search. This is traffic that comes to your site via the AdWords platform, everything we learned in the last session. Could also mean Bing ads, any paid search ads will show up here. The next is then organic search. And this is traffic that comes through search engines such as Google, Bing, Yahoo, but it's not paid, it's free. There's no cost associated with this traffic. The more organic traffic, the better, as this means people find your site based on the quality of the content and how Google ranks your website in the marketplace against others. This is the best source. And then you have direct traffic. This is traffic that will come to your site in a few different ways. Either someone types the URL directly into their browser, or they click on a bookmark. Maybe they bookmarked your page. They click on the bookmark, come to your site. Or maybe they saw a link in an email, an SMS, a chat message. Okay? So the more direct traffic you have, the better, because it shows that you have a loyal following. All right? Now we're going to take a look at two other sources. The next one is known as referral traffic. This is traffic that comes to your website from other websites. So if you're able to share your website URL with other websites and they put it on their site and then someone clicks on that, that's known as referral traffic. The next is then social. So what Google does is if it comes from any social network like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and others, they count that as social traffic. It's not the paid social, but it's organic links again. So you need to create business pages across all of the social platforms and produce good content and put links back to your site. So now I'm going to take you through. I'm going to log in again and show you each of these core features inside of the acquisition overview section. Okay, now we're going to show you the next section of Google Analytics, which is the acquisition section. Remember, this is the section that tells you where's your traffic coming from. Where was the user before they clicked on something and came to your website, right? So come to acquisition, all traffic, channels. You click on that, and then you can see here. And typically what Google will do is they'll show you the main groupings here. So in the example of this, you can see organic search is the biggest contributor to traffic at 30,000 users, followed by direct, people typing in directly, 8,600 or 16%. Referrals around 12%, display advertising 4%. Again, this is paid media. Social 4%, affiliates, other, paid search. So they're spending very little traffic in paid media. Majority of their traffic comes from organic, which is great. Okay, so then we're going to dig a little bit deeper into source medium. Now what source medium will do, it'll give you one level deeper in terms of identifying where does the traffic come from. It also is where you can define. So if you set up your UTM codes, meaning that when you place ads and people click, you can define where they came from by the source or the medium. So in this example, the source is Google and the medium is organic. This is direct, analytic, referral, This is DoubleClick for advertisers. Right, so this is how they set up the naming convention. Googleplex referral, partners affiliate, Google referral, Baidu organic. Right, so they've set up all these different types of naming conventions that allow you to identify where your traffic is coming from. All right. The last thing that I want to show you, and again, what this is helpful is you can also filter by transactions, and you can see that there are a total of 96 transactions. The best performing is organic, got 78% of the transactions, 13% was direct, 4%, 1%, and so on. So what this is useful is to tell you how is each source of traffic performing, which is great so that you can allocate more effort into the best performing traffic. One last thing I want to show you here is something called the search terms. So click on Google Ads, and then you can see down here search queries. Click on that. So the reason search queries is important is this will show you what the users search for that came through to your website. Okay, so the actual search query that triggered it. The reason this is so useful is because it allows you to focus on specific keywords. Right, so you can see this is all the Google Merchandise Store. So Google Merchandise, Google Swag Store, YouTube Merch Store, etc. And then what you can do is you can export that list right up here and export. And that'll then help you when you're trying to come up with your keyword list, refine your keyword list. It shows you what people are actually searching. You can also find some negative keywords in there as well. There's specific things that you don't have on your website that maybe people are searching for. All right, so that's a quick introduction to acquisition. Thanks so much. And this brings us to the end of this module. And now it's time for each student to complete this short activity. So again, in this section, continue on Google Analytics. We looked at the next main module known as the acquisition module. Please log back into the demo account, select the month of June 2020, and answer these 2 questions for me. Put your questions in the PowerPoint and upload them back into Blackboard. And we'll review them in this week's Q&A. Thanks so much. Let's get started with the next module concept. In this module, we're going to present what is known as the behavior overview module inside of Google Analytics. Let's get started and take a look at what that is. So the behavior feature allows you to track the performance of each page inside your website. You're able to use this data to determine the following very useful insights. What pages are popular, okay, most visits, longest session duration. Pages that you maybe need to revamp because they have a high bounce rate or short session duration. Also want to know where visitors are abandoning your website. And lastly, pages that are producing the most conversions. So again, helps you understand the quality of the content on your site. So the site content section allows you to understand, again, these key main things. Let's go through. Right, so you can see here, it allows you to see what content in your site is the most popular. Right, so in this example, the first thing you want to look at is how the different pages rank. This allows you to see what pages get the most traffic. So this is from the Stanford University, and you can see that the tuition page is the second most important page after the home page. So this tells you that pricing is a big factor for visitors that come to the Stanford site. And then you can see how many page views each section has. All right, page views, unique page views, bounce rate, etc. Okay, so again, it tells you how well each section of your site is doing. What's the most popular? Another main aspect and something very important to the overall performance of your site is site speed. It's a measurement of how long it takes your page to load. The reason this is so important is because if the page is slow to load, then you will lose potential customers. So in this slide, we can see, again, this is from Stanford, we can see that 5 seconds, the average site speed, 5 seconds for users who converted versus 6 seconds for those who did not convert. So it's further proof that the faster your site is, the more conversions you'll have. Ideally, try to get it down to about 3 seconds if possible. All right, so now I'm going to take you through these sections. Let's go in and take a look. All right, now let's take a look at the next section inside of Google Analytics known as behavior. So come back to the menu bar here on the left-hand side and click on behavior. Then what I want you to do is click on site content and then all pages. So again, what behavior is, that is the behavior of the users inside of your website. So it helps you see what pages people are visiting, how many page views are being visited on that page, the bounce rate of those pages, and more. So as you can see here in the demo account, the home page is the most popular page, and it typically is. 17% of all visitors or all of the page views were generated from that page, followed by the store, basket, all right, which kind of makes sense. This is a e-commerce site. So you want people to come home to the store, look at products, and then go to the basket. You see down here, there's a total of about 657 different pages visited. So you can select to see those. And again, this gives you just a better idea of some of the most popular product pages or products viewed. So you can see here like apparel, women's, lifestyle drinkware. Okay, so again, then you can filter if you want to see, for example, how is lifestyle doing in general. You can come up here to advanced and search for lifestyle. Then what this will show you is all the pages related to their lifestyle section. Okay, so again, it's a good indication of the most popular pages and where people are going inside of your website, which helps you then invest properly into improving the content or producing more of what's working. One more thing I want to show you inside here is site speed. So come to site speed, come to overview, and then again, this is where you'll be able to see how long it takes your page to load, and they'll show you over time. So you can see, for example, on this page, 42 seconds. So there must have been something wrong with their site on that day. But in general, this is pretty good, 5.6 seconds to load. And the fastest is Internet Explorer, 2 seconds. The slowest is Android WebView. Sounds like this may be an app, WebView app. And you can download the full report here. Again, what this will do is this will help your web development team benchmark how they're doing and hopefully improve upon the site speed. All right, so those are the main things that I want to show you, the most important things around behavior. Thanks so much. And this brings us to the end of this module concept. Now it's time for you to complete this short activity. So again, go back into the demo account. Set the date of June 2020. And then I want you to answer these 2 questions. So navigate again to the behavior section to answer these questions. Please complete the activity, upload it back into Blackboard. See you in this week's Q&A. Thanks. This brings us to the next and final module inside of this Google Analytics session. And in this module, we're going to present goals. Very, very important. Goal overview. Let's get started. So what are goals? Google Analytics doesn't tell you how your business is doing without some additional setup. So what you have to do is set up the goals inside of Google Analytics. And if you do that, then every business should be doing. There's 5 ways that you can track, or 5 main things that you can track with goals, right? Revenue, how much revenue are you producing? Acquisition, how many people are signing up or purchasing? Inquiries, did they view a product, make an appointment? Engagement, did they request a trial or sign up for a newsletter? Or you can really track anything else. Maybe you want someone to watch a video, click on a certain button. Those are events. These are all the different things that you could track using goals. So again, what are some of the things that you can define as a goal, right? Visiting a specific page. Maybe spending a certain amount of time on the site. Maybe you want them to stay on the site for 1 minute. Maybe you want them to visit X number of pages, or a certain page, or certain 3 pages per session. That can also be set as a goal. And lastly, maybe you want them to download a PDF, watch a video, because these are known as events, custom events that I mentioned earlier. And you can tag any specific event that you want, and you can track that as a goal. So to get to goals, you got to go into the admin section here, click on goals, click on new goal, and then you can set up a goal. One of the recommended things that I suggest you do with a goal is assign a revenue value to that goal. So if you know your average sale, let's say is $500 or $50, let's say $500, then you can assign that. Then every time someone completes that specific goal, you can consider $500 in revenue. What this does is it enables you to start and track something very important known as return on ad spend, or ROAS. So if you can put monetary value to the goals, I highly suggest you do that. Good. So once you have your goals set up, then you can go to the goal section. Click on conversions, then goals, and then overview. And that will then get you to where you can view. And let's take a look now at the goal overview dashboard. So, first thing I'm going to show you is goals completed. This will be the aggregate of all the goals. You may have multiple goals, but this will show you everything rolled up into one. If you assigned a goal value, this is where you would see that value, $500, $50. This example is set to 0, but this is where you would see the goal value. Goal completion rate, all right? This is defined as the total number of goals completed divided by the number of sessions. So again, this is a metric that you can use week on week, month on month to see how the traffic you're sending is performing. And lastly, you may have multiple goals here, goal 1, goal 2, goal 3. All right, they'll show you all the different goals that you have there individually, right? So very, very, very useful. Okay, so now this brings us to the very last section we're going to show you, which is conversions, but goals. Okay, so inside of conversions. And as we just taught you, goals can be first set up, and we showed you how to do that. You can define various different types of goals, but come to conversions, goals, and click overview. And then this is what you're going to see. So in this month of May, there were 7,826 goals completed. And overall goal conversion rate was 11.76%. Here there's 4 goals that they've set up, okay? The first goal is purchase completed, engaged users, registrations, entered the checkout. Okay, and what I did was I showed the source medium, and this basically will show you which sources of traffic are producing the highest percentage of goals completed. And again, organic traffic 45%, and all the different sources of traffic. So that's the first thing that I want to show you. The second thing here is then this thing called funnel visualization. This is a really nice tool here. So again, this was one of their goals. The goal was completed 101 sessions. This is purchase completed goal, right? So you can select various different types of goals right up here. Okay, but this one is purchase completed. So you can see here 6,700 people entered the cart. From that, 1,271 moved on to billing and shipping. 615 to payment, review, okay, and then purchase completed. So they'll show you the percentage completion in each stage. So 18%, 48%, 26%, so on and so forth. So this is really good as it allows you then to compare different periods and see how is your conversion rate in each step in the funnel, okay, performing each month. And the goal is obviously to improve upon this conversion rate from 18% to higher, and so on and so forth. Right? So that's how goals are set up and viewed and analyzed. All right? Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, so this is a short module. That's the concept of goals. And what I want you to do now again is go back in to the demo account and filter June 2020. And then I want you to answer these two main questions. So how many goals were completed in June 2020? And what is the average conversion rate for all of the goals? And that's it. Hope you enjoyed this session. Hope you learned a lot about Google Analytics. It was a pleasure, and I'll see you in this week's weekly tutorial. Thanks so much, guys. Take care.